Hey, this is Ramon, Channels Alpha 4, and this is my Questions 4 series. And today we are doing questions for NRA members and gun rights activists. Now, anybody who has an opinion on this, feel free to answer, and anyone who owns a gun, feel free to answer. But I am addressing these questions to NRA members and gun rights activists. But anyone who owns a gun, or anybody with a strong opinion, feel free to answer. Now, normally I try to present myself as unbiased, or I try to present my bias up front before we get into it. With this, it's going to be a little bit different because I do support gun rights and I do believe in the Second Amendment. That being said, that doesn't mean I do not have questions, and questions I have. So here we go. This is actually going to be longer than most of my Questions 4 series. We are going to do 10 questions. I usually only limit myself to 4. So here we go. And if you want to know why I support gun rights, I will add that at the end of this video, where I will explain why I support the right to bear arms. But that will be at the end of the video. That has nothing to do with the questions at hand. Okay. Why is it an issue for the NRA and for gun rights activists that states want to require insurance for firearms? If the rate is regulated by law to be at a reasonable cost and subject to risk, read that as, or hear that as, firearm crime rate in the area you live in, and the regularity that a particular arm is used in violent crime, how would this be any different than car insurance is now, where even the paint of your car affects the cost of your insurance? Question number 2. If we follow the Second Amendment to the letter of the law, how would limiting firearm carry to home, vehicle, range, and hunting regions be a violation of an amendment that only guarantees a well-regulated militia the right to bear arms? Question number 3. Weapon safety, care, maintenance, and weapon knowledge is a first when it comes to any weapon. Why not make these courses mandatory for anyone who wants to own a firearm and have gun licenses, as we have driver and pilot licenses? Even hairdressers are required to have a license in most states, and that is just to wield scissors or an electric razor. I am not talking about concealed carry here. I am speaking solely about firearm ownership. Question number 4 on the subject of concealed carry. Why do we need concealed carry? And further on that, why the need to explicitly extend this courtesy, that of concealed carry, to law enforcement and military? Question number 5. In what way, if any, does the Second Amendment protect silencers, bump stocks, or extended magazines? Question number 6. Why in the world do you, meaning NRA members and gun right activists that have said so publicly or on forums, want firearm carry to be allowed by non-essential personnel in federal buildings? Essential personnel being defined as security and the like. Question number 7. Why would you, meaning NRA members or gun right activists, want ex-felons to be permitted to own black powder weapons? Question number 8. What, if any, reason do you have to be against universal background checks? Again, universal background checks. What, if any, reason do you have to be against that? Question number 9. What is your objection, if any, to having a universal minimum age requirement to own and operate a firearm? Question number 10. What is your opinion on arming teachers in public schools? Okay, so those are my questions. Please try to answer the question that I asked and not the question that you think I'm asking, and try to answer it in the spirit that it is being asked. I am not attacking anyone. I am not accusing one of anything. I am simply asking these questions. But as I said, I do support the right to bear arms. So I will now explain that. When I was a child, a gun saved my life. Not from a robber, not from anything dramatic like that, but from a rattlesnake. I was out in my uncle's field. I was out way far away from everyone. And a rattlesnake popped up. Rattle going and everything. Not a foot from my face. My uncle from across the field took his .22, shot down range, and saved my life. Also, in my adult life, there's at least one relationship that I had where her daughter was saved by a gun when a bobcat decided to charge at her. She had a young daughter, and a bobcat decided to charge at the young daughter. The woman that I was dating at the time took out her gun and shot the animal before it could reach her daughter as it was charging. Now, those are just two instances in my life where a gun has saved either myself or somebody that I care about in a general sense. Why else do I support guns? Well, when I was younger, I was in ROTC and I was in the gun club of the ROTC, and we had a gun range in our school, and I, as the rest of the team did, fired .22s in the gun range as part of the school endorsed and allowed gun club. Now, as part of this gun club, we learned how to strip rifles, how to build rifles together, and how to do all of that. I personally do not own any guns currently. In fact, the only gun I've ever owned on my own is a BB gun. That's it. I had a CO2 gun for a while, but again, that just shoots BBs as well. I personally don't have the urge to have a gun, but I have had experience with guns. At one point, I knew how to strip a gun, blindfold, and put it back together under 1 minute. I am familiar with the M16, the M14, and I believe the M12. I'm not really sure about the last one. And for me, personally, in my entire life, I would never need anything more than a single bolt action shot. Anything more than that would be more than my personal needs. Now, while I understand there are other reasons to support guns, I don't need anything that amazing to hunt or to practice sport such as target practice or clay shooting. But that's me. So there's why I support guns and why I believe in the right to bear arms. But at the same time, I do think some of the current laws concerning guns are a little too lax, and some of the gun rights that are being fought for seem a little extreme. So please answer my questions. Peace, like, and subscribe. Next week, questions for anti-gun activists and for those who are anti the Second Amendment. I will have to work on the title just a little bit. But peace, like, and subscribe. Talk to you all later. Comment down below. Feel free to give a video response, and I look forward to having this conversation and dialogue with you. And yes, I will respond back to you. This is not just a one-off kind of thing. If you answer, I will answer you. In some of my previous videos, even from 3 or 4 weeks ago, I am still responding back to people and in dialogue with people from there. So yes, you will get a response if you respond to me, assuming your response is sensible and respectful. Okay, so peace, like, subscribe, talk to you all later.